The Alternative Spring Break trip is a trip over spring break where students can go to complete some community service for a community. We try to have it be a cultural immersion, so it's not just we're going to St. Louis, which is 45 minutes away, to work for 5 days. We want to go somewhere where the population is different, the cultures are different, the issues that they face as a population and as a community are different. This year, we're going down to New Orleans.
My name is Chris Felchlea. I'm the AmeriCorps coordinator for Kimmel.
I'm Olivia Parker. I'm a first-year student here at SIUE, and I'm an accounting major.
Hi, my name's Kate Alexander, and I decided to go on the trip because I had such a powerful experience last year.
One thing we were kind of looking for when going through the selection process, through the applications and the interviews that everyone went through, was how dedicated are they to this? Do they have the type of personality that they're really invested in community service, they're really invested in the cause? This isn't just something to put on their resume. They are going down there for the full immersion experience.
I felt like it was a really good idea to kind of go down and enrich the communities down there and use my skill sets wisely to help the people that have been affected by Hurricane Katrina.
I hope to just gain more knowledge on the New Orleans area, the culture, the people, really get a good idea of what their need is versus what the world or society advertises.
I mean, you have people, instead of going down to Florida and having fun, they want to go help people in New Orleans, and I thought that was a really good opportunity.
I'm hoping to come away from the trip with a better sense of how to help others in need and how to better my community.
So I'm excited, very.
We're going to leave at 5:30 on the dot, so I want to make sure you get here, okay? All right, thanks. Bye.
We will actually be leaving for New Orleans Sunday, bright and early at 5 a.m., and we have a good 12 to 13 hour drive ahead of us. So that will be a lot of fun, but we will get down there, get situated. We'll kind of debrief the group and reflect a little bit on what we expect it to be, what we'll be doing, just any thoughts or reservations we may be having.
Again, good evening to all of you.
Good evening.
And welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to work with us this week. It's a lot to be done still in New Orleans, even though it's been well over 6 years post-Katrina. There are communities that are still devastated. There are other communities that look like they're completed, but actually residents are suffering as a result of lack of resources. And they're also suffering because they are under the gun of the city, who is threatening to take their property away from them if they can't show significant improvement in the development of their property. Those who managed to get some type of funding or had some savings to put into their house got defrauded by contractors. People ran off with $50, $60, $70, $80, $100,000. And so they're stuck.
The first day that we're down there, actually on Monday, we'll be doing a social justice tour of the 5 main neighborhoods that were hit the hardest with Hurricane Katrina back in '05. So before we even get started on the rebuilding component of the project, we'll have a better understanding of the issues the neighborhoods are facing, the issues the individuals themselves are facing, why they are still facing these problems, why are we going down there 7 years later to rebuild. Why do we need to be rebuilding 7 years later? Once we do that, we'll have a better idea of our purpose while we're down there.
Coming up in a capitalist society, you kind of believe you are what you have. What happens when you lose everything?
You pull up and there's all these bright colors, there's maps of where people who were affected by Hurricane Katrina have went, and since come back, or maybe not at all, maybe they're still there, but all these spots across the United States, and it was almost like a lighthouse to me. I mean, you had this, it was nothing really, it was just this beacon for all these people to return, you know, for the people who have returned to the community to see. You know, we still have all these evacuees trapped in places for whatever reason, and it was really great because it was another one of those work hard and get what you need to get done stories.
And it had no windows, no walls, no bathrooms, no kitchen, and I haven't gotten one grant to do this. It's been people.
He talked about, you know, I built this whole place practically by myself with no grant money, no help from the government. And even what he said about the government, you know, about Katrina, he's like, they panicked, you know, it wasn't their fault. He's like, a lot of things went wrong, and, you know, I don't think that they were really capable of handling it. And it just seems like a very mature outlook.
He really inspired me. He was talking about finding your purpose, and you know, it feels like that little flame that ignites inside your chest.
Your purpose and the gifts that God gives you is not for you. It's for you to give to someone else. I've made a decision in my life, when I die, I don't want to have nothing left. I don't want to have no more to get. I never ever knew it felt this good giving.
And I could really relate to what he's saying, because I think all of us are on the pathway to finding our purpose. And I think he's just a really inspirational figure that the lower Ninth Ward in New Orleans needs.
It kind of threw me off of my trip because I didn't realize like how different I would feel actually being in the areas that got affected. I was excited to go help, and I still am. However, it's really changed my mind about some things.
I'm just honored that you guys are still coming almost 7 years after Katrina. The media did not bring you guys here. It was word of mouth. Somebody told you we're not fixed. We need help, but we don't need a handout.
I started out a couple years ago pursuing medical science. You know, I wanted to be a doctor, and just recently I've had this thought that I kind of wanted to be, you know, a sustainable farmer. And it was really reinforced when I came down here and saw this 1 acre plot. And it wasn't even like this whole 1 acre, it was just like these scattered gardens. And Nat talked about starting with $12 in his pocket, and now he's built it up to the point where he's making money to reinforce his farm, to add more to it, to make it better. You know, he's talking about how he's got the kids coming in because he's got strawberries, and they're interested in growing things and interested in a way of life that really has gone by the wayside as of late.
And we went and saw this gentleman. He had a whole sustainability center, and he brought kids into the neighborhood, kids that no longer have schools because their schools were destroyed. And he's teaching them skills that they need in order, like life skills, you know, stuff that schools are inadvertently teach kids.
The public schools of the city of New Orleans have not reopened since Hurricane Katrina. 2/3.
The hospital, it's huge, for one. And the fact that it's so huge and so big, and it seems so solid, that it should be able to work, and the fact that they won't let it open, or they won't allow it to be functional, it's insane. Like, it's like why, the question why lingers, and it's like many of my questions for many of the stories and situations is why.
This is not easy, but when you got over 7 billion plus people in the world, never agreed on nothing, I think they agree on pain and change. And if they knew we was going to be there for them when they go through a disaster, we would save so many lives, and we would save so much money. People stay in harm's way because they're trying to hold on to the only thing they have, and they die trying to do that. What if they knew we was going to be there for them? Then they would get out of harm's way.
We went to the levee, the lower Ninth Ward, and we actually saw the spot where the levee broke, and it's marked by a cross, and you can just like envision the floodwaters coming and destroying all the houses. And even though there's no debris left, it's just vacant lots, and you can really see the impact that Katrina had on this area and on that neighborhood. And it's just crazy because you think 7 years it would be okay, and it still isn't, and it really hits you.
The thing I learned the most from the tour was that this place did not definitely get the help they needed, and it's still so much left to do.
What I want to do ultimately is take what we learned from this, creating a blueprint. I want to follow disasters. I don't care where they at in the world. I don't want to go there and tell them what to do. I want to go there and say, hey, we had the biggest disaster in America. These are all the mistakes that we made in the beginning that we got right. And I'm willing to give that to you or roll up my sleeves and help you get it done.